We have a jam-packed show for you tonight. We're going to be going over some details coming out from Konami, talking a little bit about the old team involved. Is Kojima involved? We'll find all that out. Also, we have some stellar reviews coming from the new game Diablo 4. And if you haven't already, please do hit that subscribe button and get up to date with all the latest gaming news across the world. I'd like to introduce everybody really quick, and we're going to get straight into the news. So we have Paddy, Tink, and John joining myself, Ronan, here today on the Republic of Players podcast. How are we all doing?
Grand. Not better.
Good. And you?
Fantastic.
Keeping well. Like I said, we have a lot to get through. So I'm going to kick it off with one of the biggest announcements of the PlayStation Showcase, Metal Gear Snake Eater.
Yum, yum, yum.
Like I have to say, the remake or the trailer, the announcement during that show was amazing. But now we have a little bit of time to let it sink in. You know, we were kind of knew at the start that Kojima wouldn't be involved, but Konami have come out with some details of the remake, and there has been some screenshots as well that have been released of the early game development. So some good news and some bad news. The good news is the original team is going to be working on the remake, and the bad news is, as we all know, Kojima is not going to be working on it. So I'd like to get your thoughts on it now that we've had time for the endorphins to wear off, John. I know yourself and yourself were a little bit hyped on it. What are you thinking? Is this going to be a success?
It really does depend. What they seem to be going for is like a remake that's sticking very, very close to the original. Another thing that came out about it was that they are keeping the same voice lines. Like, it's not even the voice. They're getting the same voice actors back. They're actually just going to take the lines from the original game. And if you look at any of those screenshots, it looks like pretty much as you'd expect from even the Resident Evil 4 remake that did this. They're almost like updated versions of old places in the game. So I think they're actually going to stick very, very close. It's more like, it's less of a reimagining like some remakes are, and more of an upscale, I think. Just they're completely remaking everything from the ground up, but they're not going to stray too far from the original game, which is good and bad. Essentially, but I reckon it is going to be built from the ground up. It's not just this case of a reskin, we'll say.
Yeah,
it's definitely it's happening a lot, isn't it? The remakes. If you look at films, it happens all the times with films. Like, films have been made 2 or 3 times over like decades. So gaming could be the same way.
Yeah.
Probably only just in the money of it when they look into it, and you know that the fan base is pretty strong when it comes to Snake. You know, and in this way, when I was reading the article, I was excited, but looking after through the smoky happiness, it was kind of like maybe they're playing it a little bit safe with the conditions that they have. But I want to see what the crack is because it looks shiny and new.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I like shiny. So.
I think it's a really good time to release a remake, and I think it's good that they're doing Snake Eater, and like Snake Eater is my favorite one. I know one has a special place in my heart because it came out at a time where there was nothing like it before, and when Metal Gear Solid hit, it was just like, you know, this has changed gaming going forward. And you get games like that every generation where you play something that is just completely mind-blowing, and I think Metal Gear Solid, the first one, did that. I think Snake Eater then was something that came after the second one, which was quite it got a lot of, I suppose, stick for the story and it being a virtual mission essentially. But I mean, I still really liked the second one. But then the third one came out and it almost looked like Rambo, the video game. And I think everyone was just buzzing for Snake Eater. And when it did come out, again, it had different aspects where, like, when you're fighting the end, I know you had that trick where you could put your date forward a week, I think, and he dies of old age. And that Kojima-esque style was there, and he kind of made use of the system. Yeah, after I seen the trailer, there is a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth because I don't know whether you remember, but Konami were quite mean to Kojima. And
I remember.
It's the reason why he left was the pressure that he was put under, creative, I suppose, differences with him and the company, being rushed to release, I think it was was it 4 was like a really rushed project, and oh no, it wasn't. It was 5.
I'd say it'd be 5.
It was
5.
5. Yeah,
It was 5.
Yeah, it wasn't finished. There's unended chapters like that never got released. That got released later, the cutscenes, but they're only like 60% done. So the end of the game did get like kind of leaked, but no, there was a whole like chapter not in that game.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to playing it, but I don't want to see like fully, you know, at the end of when it goes gold and we see screenshots and it doesn't look that great. Like, we have remakes, like talking about some of the remakes that have blown my mind. The Resident Evil 2 remake for me was one of the best remakes that I've played recently. John, I know you've played the 4th and loved that one as well. I only played the demo of Resident Evil 4, but taking a game that is known so well and loved, but also changing it for the better is something that's really difficult to do. And I think in a world that we have like really good remakes, is this just going to be a fresh coat of paint? And I don't know whether that's good enough in this day and age to charge full price.
It might introduce a lot of new people to Metal Gear Solid, the series as well, because I think it's been a long time since Metal Gear came out.
That's true.
Yeah,
that might give
a
new generation a shot at the old title.
A new appreciation for good classics. But then again, like I said, I think it's looking at, yes, it's going to be a lovely shiny bit, and I did try to see a lot of the aspects of it, but also it's kind of playing it safe in my eyes.
Yeah,
on how they're going to be doing it. But I'm optimistic. That's the main thing. And
would they be afraid to make a new Metal Gear Solid game?
Well, they tried with Survive, but that wouldn't even count.
That was absolute terrible. That was a real cash grab, that one.
That was very much cash grab. It was like
was it not like post-apocalyptic zombie with just Snake in the middle of it?
Yeah, it was like a zombie horde kind of thing where you could build bases. I believe I never played it. Yes.
Thing, yeah.
Like, I think I played a little bit of it. It was garbage.
Well, like, garbage water.
The fact that they don't have Kojima for this remake is probably why I think they're playing it so safe, because if you're trying to completely remake something without, like, it's a Kojima game. It's Metal Gear Solid. It's the mixture of the weird realism of like knocking something out of your arm, like you take a splint of your arm and then plaster it and stuff like that, and like setting your leg. But it also mixes that realism with a guy who shoots bees out of his face. Like, it's only the craziness that Kojima can come up with.
Yes, and exactly. This is exactly what I'm talking about, John. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. So like the fact that they have to, like, if they tried to remake it and get new voice actors in and try and kind of redo stuff, it wouldn't have the same soul. So the fact that they're sticking with the same voice actors, and for what I'm seeing, that they're just kind of remaking it again without changing too much, that to me, I think it might be the best.
I wonder if they have to pay the voice actors again. Probably not.
Royalties, maybe.
Royalties, baby.
Maybe.
I'd love that. Imagine if you got royalties off gaming or being in a game, that'd be class. I want to be a voice actor now. I just don't have the voice.
Oh, you have a beautiful voice.
There's somebody out there you can do.
There is some little weasel.
Yeah, at least you'll be able to do the Irish accent better than most. Another thing as well that we didn't really mention, and it was announced at the end of that trailer, was they are remastering the first and second one as well. So I see Luke there. If you haven't got a chance to play the original, Metal Gear Solid 2 and Snake Eater, they are going to be giving you the opportunity to do that. So like Paddy said, it'll give people that haven't been able to play it a chance to give those games a go, and they are unbelievable.
There'll be a TV show, there'll be a movie. There's going to be
there was meant to be.
There's going to be a lawsuit.
That's just the old milky dry, man.
Well, you're right, Ronan. There was one. It was purported to be Oscar Isaac at the time, but I think that movie's in development hell from what I can see. I haven't heard a thing about it, so I can't really comment.
There is a Delta symbol at the end of the remake's name as well. Delta is a character from the Greek alphabet that means change or difference in mathematics and variables. So what does that mean? I mean, is it going to be different? Is there going to be changes? Like, why would they use that symbol?
Like,
in this culture, they might make him a different color.
Possibly.
I don't understand if it's just kind of just a
Idris Elba would get the part.
Idris Elba, that'd be class. I'd go for that.
Actually, I'd go for that. That'd be awesome.
Idris Elba sounds pretty cool.
Is he not in everything
He's an
though?
amazing man.
He's
I
in
just
everything.
said that he could be James Bond. I was like, yeah, why not? He's
Yeah.
English, so why not?
No,
Fucking difference.
he's an amazing man.
Go on, another person fancy Tink. Jesus Christ.
Sorry.
This-
I'm
So
enjoying
this
the
game is
conversation.
is the one that was requested the most, and that's the reason why they're doing it from the reports here. So
Yeah.
I know it's probably the one that I would like to see.
What did that
remade
come
the
out on?
most.
PS3 or something?
PS2, I think.
PS2 was it?
Was it two?
Now you got me double guessing myself.
PS3 would make sense to me because it would be the easiest
It
to remake.
feels PS3-esque.
I mean,
PS2 is like
Sons of Liberty was PS2, right?
You ever shoot the seagulls? Sorry.
Always.
Oh yeah. Oh no,
That's
that's Sons of Liberty. Yeah.
Sorry, I hope it's gonna be. I hope it's gonna be.
I thought that was just a
Think on
Dublin
which
thing or something. You're
No
talking about.
animals were
That
hurt
was
in the
shooting
making of this
seagulls,
podcast.
That too, like.
Pigeons. I hate pigeons. Blackbirds.
Paddy, I know you're going to like this next piece of news. Grand Theft Auto 6 will be single player focused, says
It should be
Take-Two.
It has to be. It always has to be.
But is that, are they just saying that and then they're going to,
And then
ease the online into it?
Throw it into the back
Broken.
line.
If you have a cow and it walks the same way every day and it gives you the same amount of milk, you don't turn left and bring it somewhere else.
That is such a difficult thing.
I've never met a cow in my life.
So, yeah, there's been very little in terms of Grand Theft Auto reports, but
There seems to be something like people dripping out news all the time, and you don't know if it's real or they're just trying to grab some attention.
yeah, I seen like the map being
all the
put
time.
together with all
It's
the
the
leaks
trend,
and stuff like that.
you know. They'll be sweeping little things together just to
Well,
keep their eye.
They had me thinking that they were going to be releasing some kind of trailer last week, but sure, it's not happening. It's not happening.
Dashed.
But
They'll
I
just
reckon they
drop
have
it
a
on
lot of that.
YouTube one day.
The what?
They'll just drop it on their Rockstar YouTube channel one day.
And they'll break the
Yeah.
internet.
They don't need any show to promote it for them.
No. There's not that many shows left.
I think you had a
Yes,
good point there
okay.
recently. Is it just going to be... Is Grand Theft Auto Online just going to continue and evolve as, the same game, or are they going to have an online version of...
I don't know. Is it
Six,
where is it
basically.
set? Is it set in the same city? No.
Um,
Grand Theft Auto 6.
no. It's...
That would be a great idea if it wasn't even set in the same city, but they just expanded the world. They had two cities coming together for Grand Theft Auto 5 and Grand Theft Auto 6.
What they might
That
do,
would take a
what
lot of storage. Huh?
What they do for a lot of games like that is if they do change the map and all that, because the other game's been out for so long, and people have put a lot of money into like cosmetics and stuff. I'm not sure, is there much cosmetics in GTA?
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
that they'll probably
Shark cards, baby.
You probably get to keep the cosmetics that you bought in the previous one, because they did stuff like that in CSGO, the new one that's coming out and stuff like that, and Overwatch, I believe, that you get to keep the cosmetics from the first one over to the next one.
Yeah.
It's mad.
It's
like
a fictional
it's like a
version
cult.
of Miami, much like the previous game, Vice City.
Oh, it's in Vice City.
Yeah.
Ooh, could
It's
you
hard to know.
imagine
It'd be hard to get
wouldn't-
people to jump.
that radio station, man? What could it be? What could it be? They already
Mm.
took out a lot of hits from the definitive edition. You know what I mean? Just saying.
I think it's a modern day Vice City, basically. I think that's what they're going with.
Like a sequel to Vice City.
But like, strip back all the leaks, all the thoughts of what it's going to be. That's a day one for a lot of gamers out there, including myself. Like,
Oh,
And me.
Grand Theft Auto is just
like-
a it's a
like
staple,
it's
isn't
like
it?
an Eminem album, day one, baby.
Yeah.
they won. They won. Like, in fairness, they've been able to stretch out GTA 5 through how many generations of consoles for how many years?
How long have you been
360.
10, 11, 12
I'm
years?
ready for the new.
But in fairness, the role play servers were, I've seen a
Yeah.
couple of different
I got
YouTube
cracking
channels
them.
and different
They're
streams.
good.
Like, they're a lot of fun, and I think that's what makes the longevity of that series is those role playing servers. They just seem like I've never played in them, but I do want to give them a go one day. Create my character and yeah, I don't know what
did
to be.
it.
What would you be, Paddy?
I was on it before. It was very fun.
What were you? What was your character?
I think I was being a lawyer. I was pretending to be a lawyer.
All right.
Objection.
I was having great crack with the young lads. There's some lads who were running around. What are you doing? None of your business, right? Get away from me.
Think, what would your character be?
I had a friend that was in a coma in a hospital and had a note on the front of the bed. I was like, that's amazing. And it was like, I was there for technically 3 days.
Were you talking to Bosch Merchant at the weekend? No.
I was in his stream today. I
you
missed
weren't.
him.
He was at the. He was at Game
we were talking about that. I missed him at the event at the weekend.
Jesus, hard to miss him. He's huge.
Is he? He said he was there both days. I never seen a bit of him.
No, but he's good at the old role play. I don't think he plays Grand Theft Auto anymore, does he?
No, he plays DayZ. They're all playing DayZ now.
I've seen him on
Everyone's going
TikTok.
Daisy.
I've seen his clips on TikTok on DayZ.
Yeah.
Mm.
He's trying to grow that TikTok, so definitely go over and support our boy Bosch Merchant. Very good streamer and just an all-around nice guy as well.
Oh yeah, lovely man.
I think it's unreal with games, the way games are there and they're in the background all the time, but they all have a massive community. Like there's games there you don't play and you go back to them and there could be millions of people still playing the game and you don't even realize it.
Yeah.
The likes of DayZ, GTA, even like Apex and Fortnite, they all have their player base that just doesn't leave the game.
I think it's our next game. I'm not gonna lie.
Fields.
I've been playing DayZ and I think that's the next game where we get a lot of fun out, because I think previously when I played it, I was always going into basically dead servers because I was afraid of dying. But you just go into a busy server, there is people everywhere, and a lot of them are content creators. They don't just shoot on site. They want to have a little bit of fun, and yeah, I think it'd be good for content.
Yeah.
Install DayZ. We'll all jump on. Yeah.
Is it on
I think
PC?
I have it.
Is it PC? Is it on PlayStation as well? It is.
It's on PlayStation as well. It doesn't run that great, and I wouldn't say it's as popular. You know, the servers wouldn't be as popular on PC or on PlayStation.
And I think I played it on PlayStation and I was running around for ages and didn't find anybody.
Yeah,
Then you find someone and they kill you.
Or they call you names.
Yeah, they call you names.
Yeah, that can happen.
You're doo-doo head.
You're doo-doo head. Take it back. Take it back.
The big release this week was Diablo 4. I loved Diablo 2. I never really got into Diablo 3, and it's because, I don't know, there was just something that it didn't grab me. Diablo 4, it seems to be getting perfect scores all around, going by what the critics are saying. And yeah, it seems to be a return to the original greatness of the series. Any Diablo players here?
No.
No,
No,
but I've
really,
lost
no.
plenty of friends.
You've lost plenty of friends.
What's Diablo about? Walk me through it here.
It's a top-down looter, dungeon crawler. Come on, help me out here, John. You know how to...
That's right. Looter Dungeon Crawler is pretty much exactly what it is. You didn't need any help. You were very good on your own.
Thanks.
You go.
It's top down. You go around. You like kind of like Path of Exile kind of camera angle, and you kind of go around like fighting stuff, picking up the loot, getting better.
PoE
stuff.
we call it.
Yeah, fighting bosses. You can go in there with your friends. There's a hardcore mode, so that like if you die, you're dead for the whole campaign. A lot of people like that.
And is this a life extractor? Does this make you sit and play for years?
Yeah, it's a grinder.
One of them.
The one kind of thing I've been hearing about it is that the game itself is fantastic, but the review build that the people played didn't have any of the microtransaction stuff in. And apparently some of the microtransaction stuff has leaked, and it is Diablo, so apparently it is a little bit egregious, but that comes with the territory, in fairness.
That's what you sign up for, and hence you lose friends. So yeah, they're like, I can't play right now. It's like, well, what are you doing? Yeah, I'm just like catching up with Diablo. It's like you've been doing it for 3 years.
You mentioned it there a second. You mentioned it there a second ago, John, but I have a couple of mates that we play ranked Siege with, and we just wanted to take a break. I think it was last week, and we installed Path of Exile. We had a hell of a lot of fun for a free game. Honestly, it was
Really?
But you can see your life kind of drip away doing quest after quest and try and get the gear after better gear, but it's a lot of fun. If people like those type of grinding games, check out Path of Exile. It's been out a long time now, and
Ages.
yeah. It's that's why I was saying, one of the guys around and said it's PoE, dude. I was like, everything has to be shortened down, but yeah, it was
2013.
I'd be very afraid
2013,
of games like that. I honestly would. Games like that when you start taking, because it takes away from everyone else you're doing. So you just like,
it's called Escape from Tarkov.
Yeah, there's loads of games like that.
Power Washer Sim.
It sets something off in your head as well, that you've accomplished something. Do you know that way? So you're
Yeah,
playing
the
games.
endorphin rushes. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and then it makes you're not accomplishing things in your other parts of your life. This is my story.
It's complete endorphin overload. Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
it's but everything's like that. It's like TikTok. It's like, oh, I'll just look at TikTok for a while, then
And another one. And another one.
because
and
it's
another
making
one.
you feel happy, and then you
The
realize
fingers
I've done.
raw.
Check
Yeah,
out our
exactly.
TikTok.
2 hours. Check out our
There
I
we
feel
go.
happy but
That-
empty
it's great.
inside.
It's good crack. We have fun.
Yeah.
We have fun. But that's it. In other words, that's what it's endorphins, releasing endorphins.
Mm.
We all love new content all the time. That's why YouTube is so good. Just new content all the time.
That's it, Paddy. And if you would like your Dorothy to be released all the time, make sure you subscribe to this channel. We have shorts coming out.
Yeah, OnlyFans, baby.
Only Tinks. Sorry.
Only Tinks, yeah. That sounds wrong.
It sounds correct. Anyway. Diablo, carry on about what
Oh, yeah, sorry, Diablo, yes.
Yeah, so no massive fans of Diablo here. Anyone in the chat
No.
play Diablo? Because I know like people that love Diablo love
How
that
about those
game. And
stats?
yes,
Come on.
yeah, get the spreadsheet out.
Do you think
Yeah,
there's people
but-
that have jumped from like starting in Diablo 1 and then just like been playing it ever since it came out, and then Diablo 2, Diablo 3, Diablo 4?
I'm
Just
sure there has.
haven't played any other games ever.
I just find they get a little bit repetitive in terms of the gameplay is like you're clicking constantly, like it's a click fest basically.
Mhm.
And I don't know, the level of skill involved, it's more to do with just getting better gear and be able to beat the enemy.
Right.
And I don't know, for me it doesn't really catch me as much as other games. So
A looter.
a looter, yeah, that's
Destiny is similar to that, to be honest.
Yeah, better guns.
Destiny
like,
has very much the same gameplay loop, is what we'll say. You know, you
And
just
that satisfaction of losing friends as well. 'Cause I know it does.
that should be a
Satisfaction.
genre on its own. A friend loser.
It's the
friend
same
loses
story.
They're all
Monopoly.
losers.
Monopoly. That's the biggest friend loser of them all.
Yeah, there you go.
I am the king of Monopoly.
Yeah,
The
sure.
king.
Yeah, go on. Yeah, I have another one.
I've never lost a game in my life.
I have. That's fair enough. You are the king. You are the king, man. That's fair enough.
Okay, I've lost a guy. I have to have lost a couple. Like, come on. Yeah, I'm pretty good at it. I'm not gonna. I'm pretty good.
I'm pretty good
I'm,
too,
I'm a big deal.
I don't know whether you heard, but I'm a
kind of
pretty
a
big
big
deal. Former CD Projekt developers who worked on Cyberpunk 2077 and the Witcher series form a new studio, saying they had enough with open world games.
Oh,
The new studio is going to be called Blank, and they're working on something original. It's a post-apocalyptic game. So
Wait,
yeah,
Open
it's
world.
another one.
hang
The Last
on,
of Us
wait.
4, it's called. No,
Oh.
they're done with open world games. I don't know how they're going to create a post-apocalyptic game that is an open world, but there you go. They're heading
This
on
war-
to do their own thing.
This
Can't
war of
wait.
mine was kind of
That's
post-apocalyptic.
a great
and wasn't
game,
open.
actually.
I've
I've only
Right.
ever played like an hour or two of it. I really want to get back into
That's
it.
a
'cause
good game.
I was really bad at it, and like all my people died. I tried it like twice, and then I was like, it wasn't that I'll never play it again. It's probably something else distracted me.
Really unique indie, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I don't think every game has to be bloody open world.
thank you.
All the time.
Honest to God.
I'm sick of it
Sickening.
myself.
Especially if it's a horror game. I'd rather be trapped in a horror game. I don't want to be.
No,
I don't want you to let me go wherever I want. That doesn't make sense to me. I'm trapped.
want-
It's horror.
I don't
100%.
want that.
Like the last. Oh no. What's that other horror game called?
Even within your one.
Evil Within.
Outlast?
Yeah.
That's brilliant. That's not open world. That's unreal.
Very good.
Oh yeah, even within.
It's even, and again, that's always your example. Let me use my example. That I think we probably talked about this 5 or 6 times, Paddy. But Outlast 1, it's probably the scariest
It is.
game I've ever played. Outlast 2, great game. It's not as scary because of the whole sneaking around and having the whole open area to kind of sneak around in. I prefer
Mhm.
corridors. You have to go this way. I completely wish. I think you have to be claustrophobic in a horror game. I think so.
I like the ones that way
sweating.
you can open.
Exactly.
You can open doors, but some of the doors will kill you instantly. Kind of job.
Outlast
so-
is horrendous.
Something like that. Back open world games.
The first one is the scariest game I've ever played. hands
Like
down.
when somebody goes,
really-
I don't get scared. You know, you have all those people. I don't get scared watching a horror. Like play Outlast and then come back to me because it's
Mm.
horrendous.
No,
Like
my
games
friend
need to take
bought
a
me that
diversion.
game. Bought me, told me I was gonna cry the first 15 minutes. I was like, yeah, whatever. First 15 minutes, the girl gets killed, and I went, gone. I was like, that's I can't play this anymore. I put it down. I was like, you win.
I
Bought
do
me
awful.
here.
refuse to be.
Make a point.
I was playing it on my own. I was calling my wife. I was like, please get home. I need you. I'm scared, okay? I just, the part where you can look over your shoulder and then you see him behind you, it's very scary. And it's not every game does that, but with those games, like I love Alien Isolation, it was the same style, but because I know that world, I was able to get through it. Outlast, I can't. And I think it's like a mental hospital you're in, isn't it? Or
Yes.
it's horrendous.
It's 100%. And I don't blame you because it's really, really scary. I don't know how I got through it.
I used to
think it
live
was
across from a mental hospital as well, so makes it
You
even
used to
worse.
live in one.
Yeah, there you go. I would have if I played that game.
But I think it's time games start to pivot away from what's seen as normal, because today's we've got the same game coming out all the time, open world,
Yeah.
story driven. Just
It's
I
so
don't know.
difficult to do though, because to take risks, especially with the AAA developers, you know, and it doesn't hit, that could put them under. It's as
Like if you have a good story that's kind of like you're on a set path all the time, I think they do well. Like The Last of Us 1 was kind of like that, wasn't completely open world and stuff like
Yeah.
that. You know, like
Yeah.
they're really
Yeah.
good. You don't have to, as I said, to go around to go on little pinpoints in the map. Go here, go there,
Go to some sort of tower, climb
Yeah.
it, and then you unveil a little bit of the map, and then it gives you. But like at the same time, saying that, I completely agree with Ronan saying, because like what are two of the biggest games in the last like year, 2 years? Elden Ring and Tears of the Kingdom. And they are open world. You climb. Well, you don't climb Elden Ring. You don't climb a tower and do that, but you go where the map is. And
you
pick
can
up the
climb
map.
a walking tower, John.
You can. That's true.
Technically.
Actually,
I didn't know that until the
true.
last time we played. So,
but again, the open world is like it's still selling and it's selling big. So
I still think best open world game is GTA games.
yeah,
I agree with
that's
that.
the standard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't mind them being open world at all.
Blank
Maybe
took
don't
to
generate-
link in to vow that it will deliver narrative-driven games. There you go. So they want to step away from the open world and have exactly
Focus.
what you want, Paddy, a more focused story. And
But I think it would work. I think honestly that people might be getting sick of you have to change trends sometimes. You can't always be doing the same thing all the time. Like gaming was a different thing 20 years ago, and it's going to be a different thing in 20 years from now. You just can't always have the same thing churning and churning and churning. People get sick of it.
its first game will be an attempt at a character-focused game in an apocalyptic setting with a twist or two, is what they say.
Basically, they've seen how well the Last of Us film is done.
Yeah.
They're like, do you know what done well this year? No one's done a post-apocalyptic in a while.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
They're playing it.
You're
safe.
right.
Talking about post-apocalyptic games, there is rumors that Days Gone 2 may be in the works, even though the developers have come out and said that it's not. There's more and more rumors floating around that
I couldn't get into that
we
game.
might get a second. What I will say to you, Paddy, is play it again. It is a different game from what it was at release. I was the same. I played it at first. I was like, this is terrible. It's spectacular. Like did you play it, John?
Yeah, I finished it. I had great fun with it. What I will say as a caveat, it is a bit long. It's a bit too long.
Yeah.
There's a point where it actually feels like it's the ending of the game. And then it's like, now that we got this dealt with, now let's do this thing.
Red Dead 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you
It
play
goes
it,
on
Tink?
I own the game. You know how long I played it? 10 minutes, because I got fed up at one part and I was like, forget this. You didn't put me in 10 minutes. I'm putting it down. I have it literally, I think it's literally in front of me right there.
It's gone out of your PlayStation.
Yeah.
Emulate my PlayStation. So actually, maybe that's a good excuse for me to tear it away. If the
It's
rumors
really
keep
good.
going
Like
around.
cruising around on the bike. I read somewhere that you don't even need to shoot a zombie in the game. You can just stay away from the
You
hordes.
know what it reminded me of? Far Cry.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
But in the same way that most of those kind of games do. Do you know what I mean? Like it's open world, you're going around.
I just hate that you're going along and next thing there's loads and loads of enemies out of nowhere for no fucking reason.
That's what I love though. The hordes were
Yeah, I
like,
like that.
if you don't like the hordes, then the game's
Yeah.
not for you. The hordes were like one of my favorite part of the game.
I love hordes. I hordes.
The hordes.
Hordes.
Sorry.
Hordes and hordes, exactly. Hordes and hordes he loves. Of
Clip it.
zombies, yeah.
Flip it, show the wife. Show the wife.
All gods, they know.
Probably watching them in trouble now.
You asked earlier about the PS Plus games for June, Tink. The first one is NBA 2K23, which I really like those games. And I was going to purchase this because it was on sale last week. It was really cheap on Steam. It was like €9. But I like playing sports games on PlayStation. And this is perfect for me. Me and one of the guys love the basketball games. So I'll definitely pick this up. for free and play a lot of it.
Has this a big emphasis on buying stuff out of the game?
It does if you want to get into the, be a pro mode. There is a lot of dirty microtransactions in it. Like, you can spend a lot of money in this game. But if you just want to jump into a season, pick a team. I usually go Celtics and try and get them to the finals. It's it's always rated one of the best sports games in terms of the level of detail. Graphically, it's amazing. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. The second one is Jurassic World Evolution 2. Anyone play the first one?
I played a little bit of the first one and it was good crack.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it as well. So I think I might actually pop this onto the PlayStation and give that a whirl this month myself and live my best. So that's what's gonna happen. So I'll put on my heels just for good measure. So yeah, to have a go of it at least. It's gonna be on for free. So jump in.
Exact same as you think. I played the first one. It's not perfect, but it's Jurassic Park and it's a lot of fun. So the second one, I'll definitely have a gander at it anyway. And then Trek of Yomi looks interesting. It's Japanese. I think you're a samurai warrior. It's got really interesting art style. Side scroller. Anyone play it? No, because I didn't play this, but I definitely seen it when it was released.
Never.
I heard of it and I saw like the artwork and all that. I remember the trailer coming up, but I never went near it, honestly. And not in a bad way, just it never came across my radar.
I think it's like one of these games that managed to slip by because I know it was probably released on PC first before it even gets released on any kind of consoles, the kind of way. But from what I've seen, it's really, really pretty. It's been out for like a year or so now. So I'm gonna have a look at it because I like pretty things. Yeah, so I like art styles as well, especially when it comes to like the Edo period, and it's a side scroller as well. And I enjoy that kind of feel. So I can only imagine what it'll be like. So
yeah, same as that. It looks interesting. I think it's the perfect game to get for free because you're never going to experience it otherwise. For free. 50 Cent is back in the director boot with a Vice City TV series. Paddy, you shared this with me. I'm quite interested in this because 50 Cent is a bit of a genius in fairness.
No, he's very good.
He had a good game.
The game was good, actually, yeah.
Vice City was awesome. 50 Cent's very good. Did you watch any of his TV shows?
Yeah. Yeah, really good.
So I did, what's the one that he had, was it Books or something like that he calls it? It'd be interesting to see what he takes on. I wonder, is it just going to be Snoop Dogg and, stuff like that coming in and playing characters?
Sure. That'd be cool, though. I don't mind that. That seems kind of like very GTA.
I mean, that's the way GTA was, wasn't it? I think, like, Snoop, was Snoop Dogg in San Andreas?
I believe he was. Did he not have something got to do with... he did. I'm pretty sure he was.
I'm sure he was in there. Denzel Washington, I think, was in there. He had a few big names.
Big names dropped, yeah, definitely.
Will 50 Cent be in it?
I'm sure he's going to be in it as well.
It'd be rude not
he's the main character.
Them TV shows will do well. Has anyone ever tried to do adaptation of anything like that? I don't think so. It's probably just people flipping it off a little bit, but I wouldn't say it's anything directly towards. Like, is it to do with Rockstar? Is it to do with... Does he have the go-ahead from them, or is he just making his own little bit inside?
That wouldn't be a bad movie if they did that. He's making a Vice City movie, right? But a movie about Rockstar wouldn't be too bad because the amount of controversies they had and games getting banned and stuff, that actually would be a good movie, their story.
Talking about bully and stuff like that, I'd be actually interested to see how that whole journey goes for them from where they started, especially when they got banned out of Australia for that kind of for the game bully or Kanan, whatever it was.
Kanan Cast Edit, whatever it was, but they had to. Again, from what you were saying, they had to call it that in some countries because they couldn't call it bully.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a little bit about the story here. So according to Deadline, the Vice City series will tell the tale of 3 former friends and soldiers who returned to their home city of Miami in the mid-80s after being dishonorably charged from the military. Disgraced, displaced and forgotten by their country, deserved and with no good job prospects, the 3 friends turn to a life of crime. Cool. They go on a big heist. I'm in.
It's set in the universe, basically. It's not.
Yeah, and I think it's perfect. I mean, it's a big enough universe to not just go with the main characters. Yeah.
That's another game, isn't it?
Vice City Stories, yeah.
That's it.
Is that one of the DLCs or was that?
No, I think it's on the
handheld.
It's on the PSP. I actually have it.
That was good, wasn't it?
I
Yes,
don't think I had it,
decent.
unfortunately. I just know it exists.
I remember I came in to my mother's house one time. One of my little cousins was sitting there, and he was about 9 or 10 at the time, and he was he's playing the game, and he hands it to me, and I start playing, and he goes, "You're after killing me, heroin dealer." I'm like, what?
Where am I going to get my snack now?
Oh wow!
Sorry about
Wow.
that.
It's a
Just
rough
pass
day.
it through.
I gave him 20 euros, and I was like, sorry about
Just for your heroin dealer.
that. Kill him. I'm sorry. I'll have to get you a new one.
Cruising around the streets looking for a new one.
Right. Great game. Especially
Yeah.
for like 9 and 10-year-olds.
Oh yeah, highly recommend.
Our
I have
first
a
trailer.
video on the YouTube channel by GTAs. I don't know what's that.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, do go over to the YouTube channel. While you brought it up, we've put a lot of work into trying to get, lots of content up there. We've got news, we've got memes. John is the meme machine over there, hitting some really big numbers with the memes that he's creating. So
Drop
head
comments,
over,
let us know.
drop a sub if you want to see any different type of content or any advice for us. We're always open to opinion.
I'm probably wearing the wrong color T-shirt for the name.
What's that?
I just noticed that my white is blended in with the white with my name.
It's
Aw.
okay. You can see it every so often.
You look lovely though.
If you don't know who I am,
you don't want to see what my
Put an
t-shirt
F
says,
in the
Paddy.
chat.
We have our first trailer in a while, and hopefully the reaction scene works for us. But it is a new game called Undawn. It's basically I Am Legend. That's what I'm getting from it. There's Will Smith, there's zombies, and you tell me
He's
at the very
slapping
end whether
zombies.
you think it's a
Alright.
total copy of I Am Legend. Let's check it out.
oh yeah, that was so cool if that was in the trailer. Just bang! It was
Honestly, check out the end.
Right. Some lad.
Goodbye.
Looks like, he doesn't look like I Am Legend anyway.
You can't. We're not watching.
I'm watching it. Okay. He does look like Will Smith though. He is.
The last boss is actually meant to be Chris Rock, believe it or not.
Hey, there he is. There he is.
There he is.
Check out the scene at the end. Oh my god.
What in the world? Okay. All right.
Yeah, let me know. It's I Am Legend copy, which I actually like that movie, I have to say.
I
love that.
enjoyed
Oh,
that movie. That was
Good
a
movie.
great one. Heartfelt,
That was a great movie.
dog.
Yeah, so Undawn came out of pretty much, I don't know, out of the blue. I didn't hear of anything, and then all of a sudden Will Smith is. But look, you're always going to watch it if even the trailer, if Will Smith is there. He's had a great career. He's made a couple of mistakes, but sure, haven't we all?
Haven't we all? People, haven't we all made a few mistakes, all right? Come on, give the man a break.
Will Smith is definitely a legend.
Yeah, 100%. And so interesting to see him in a video game.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, what a show.
What a
That
show.
should have been a video game. What are you talking about?
That should have been a video game.
Yeah.
I don't know how it would
And then it'll
have
be
been.
a Carlson challenge,
That would be just like Uncle Phil running after you, trying to eat you or something. Just
So it's granted it's for the makers of PUBG Mobile as well. So
You all have mobiles, right?
Mobiles.
yeah, you don't know my life.
Can't help myself when I hear mobile gaming.
Mobile.
Topic of the week. This is going to be an interesting one. Something that has changed considerably since, I think, lockdown. But we're going to talk about the esports scene, where it is, where we think it can go in the near future, in particularly in Ireland, but also, maybe wider than that. Tink, do you want to kick this off in terms of where you think the esports scene is at the moment?
When we're
is it in
coming
a
to
good place, bad place? What do you think?
I think it's in an interesting spot at the moment, right? Because we've seen like the rise and fall of so many different leagues coming and going, right? And the one that has been ongoing throughout the last couple of years is being held up by the likes of LoL, right? So these kind of those kind of League of Legends games as well. But in terms of like how it's going now, it has started to die down since, like, again, from the pandemic. I've noticed that as well. Like, I don't know, when it comes to the Irish scene, we talked about this in depth, and I kind of wanted a little bit focus on that. I feel like it should be more active there, and that is something I'd like to see rise more so than anything else. Even talking about, even outside of it, we're talking about FaZe, you know, like remember the huge money and everything like that with FaZe, and now they're losing stock because they're now a public brand. Like, it's a bit
I think they're dead now.
wild to me
I
how
think
it went so like underground, above ground, mainstream, and then straight up into this vortex of stock markets. So I don't know, it seems a bit rickety at the moment. If anything else, it could be evolving. I would say that. Like, not to the typical
Calm
always
before the
sticking to
storm.
yeah, not typical shooters and all that other stuff. Could be some other big lead that could come out as well that evolves that, sure. But I've seen a lot of rise of likes of Farming Simulator is an esport. Didn't know about that. Yeah. So that's kind of starting to pique my interest of like even the mention of over the weekend at Gamerfest with the esports panel there, the mention of likes of like for the Olympics, looking at Just Dance Olympic people for Ireland to represent. It was kind of like, what if the game is now evolving than just kind of slowing down, which is only a space is starting to, you know, build itself up now and get a bit more recognized, you know, so the balance is getting shifted, so to speak. So I think that's where we're going. But in terms of just Ireland, I would like to see more of it and a bit more kind of coverage around it, a bit more involvement, focus. Maybe more of the community has to come in on it, because like I said, these things start from underground and then they start building up. So that's where I'm at with gaming and my esports and gaming, kind of that aspect of it. But the Olympic side of it, I'm kind of optimistic for.
That's cool.
I will say that. So that'd be interesting to see that. Like, could you imagine a Just Dance Olympic gold medalist from Ireland for Irish dancing, for river dance from Ubisoft? It could happen. It could happen.
I was that person. It was me.
What do you think, John, though?
Have you seen me river dance? I'm pretty good.
Kind of a big deal.
Dance in a river.
But in esports as well, in terms of the e-racing, we'd cover that as well over the panels over the weekend, Gamerfest, talking about that. And that was more of your bag as well. And I see that really coming into its own after looking at the likes of Williams showing up at Gamerfest as well, and showing off all their sim racing gear as well. So it, like I said, it could be dying down in one aspect, but it could be building up in something else and evolving.
Might not just be recession proof.
Maybe.
Let's face it, we're like the world's going into a bit of a recession. So that could be one of the things first on the chopping board.
Maybe. I don't know. It could be that. I'm kind of just seeing where it goes now from the highlights of what I saw the interest going over the weekend, that kind of little bit of conversation. So again, I'm always optimistic. You know what I mean, Ronan? So what do you think?
Yeah, no, and I think that's good to be optimistic, because I want to be optimistic too. I think the sim racing scene it's a really interesting one because it's so tied in with the real thing. You know, you have real F1 racers that jump on the sim. I shared a video earlier on, Max Verstappen. He literally races at the weekend and spends all his time on the sim during the week. So it's a really kind of close skill to have, you know, being on the sim and being in a real car. The movie is coming out, the Gran Turismo movie, which basically promotes becoming a real racer from being a sim racer. Getting to talk to Dara McCormack, who is 18 now. He was signed up to Williams when he was 15. He's on a full-time contract with them. He's racing every weekend. He's a big event this weekend. And it's treated very much like, you know, the way it should be, a proper sport where he is training 8 hours a day. He's getting a contract for it. He's getting paid well for it. And I think there's another side of it where esports is being glamorized in other games, the likes of FIFA and that, especially in this country. But there is it's not sustainable for somebody young to quit school. Like, you know, Dara said to me, his parent, like I asked him, you know, was his parents angry that at 15 he was going over to, I think it's Coventry where Williams are, to join them, and he was lucky that his father was a big racing fan, and you know he loved every aspect of it. But how can you turn around to a young FIFA player, let's say, and it's like, put 8 hours a day into this game, and the biggest thing in this country at the moment is a prize for a final. It's not a contract that you can
Yeah.
get a monthly
Yeah.
wage. It's not, that's not to me, that to me is not professional. Esports, that's playing esports. You're really good at it. You can win this final that you may get a small prize pool. And that's where I think the issue is the whole structure around the esports scene in this country. In other countries, it's different. In, like we talked about, League of Legends, where they all live together, the team lives together, they go to the events, they have matches every weekend. Their health is looked after, their nutrition is looked after. They have basically an athlete's life. Whereas in this country, we are only at the very, very start of it. But I do think there needs to be bigger incentive for young people to say, I'm going to get really good at this game because it could give me the opportunity to become the best in Ireland or the best in the world.
Like if you're in that, if I was in that position right now where I was that good at a game that I think I could go out and win tournaments in this country, you should be putting more money, more time and effort into content and making it to have a community behind you and building it up that way. Brand deals, you got your ad revenue, you've got, well, I know, like what else? Like that's what an athlete would do.
Yeah, that's what you have to. Deals. Yeah, like a runner would do that as well. Like if you're doing football or anything like that, and I could see that aspect of it too, in terms of where you can do it, but in terms of hosting and having that platform to boost said skill players to professional levels is just not there. And that's kind of what I see is that it's skilled players to an extent, maybe. You know what I mean? You may have the ranks on the game, but getting into like a contract.
Massive Fortnite player and one of the best in the world, and he's a multi-millionaire.
It's also part of a team.
It wasn't from winning tournaments.
Yeah, but it was also
content.
Yeah, but of course, I'm talking about that aspect and building it up. But in terms of like talking about it in Ireland,
I know, but if you're putting the basis on other people running conventions, and they should put higher prizes.
Not conventions. I'm just saying, like, if the platform was just a bit more available, not just on a convention level. I'm talking about even on a digital level.
In this country,
you know,
in the last 7 or 8 years,
and the telly.
But we've had, I don't know, 30 conventions come and go, and one has lasted, and that shows you something. Like it shows you the money's not there. It shows you that we're not there with the infrastructure yet. It shows you there's a gap. That shows you this and shows you that. But it's more about getting the people behind it, and we've a very small population in condensing wise on compared to like the UK or like, what do we have? 6 million, 7 million people in this country? Or is it more? 8?
Under 7 million, I think it is from what I remember.
Them are gamers. What percentage of them would actually go to a con? And then what percentage plays sports and what percentage cares?
Yeah, but that's it. It's all part of building this person up. You know what I mean? So that all of that is absolutely.
But what I'm saying is they should take it into their own hands.
Yeah,
and build themselves up and go for the like even ourselves. We know that our content is great in Ireland, but if we aim for America or something like that, we've a lot more chance of succeeding.
More eyes,
because the population is so much higher.
Bigger, exactly.
Better odds,
But I'll throw a spanner in the works here. I don't like if it was let's say we go to a country that does have the infrastructure. Content and esports are completely different. You know, a lot of the esports athletes, they don't care about entertaining in terms of jumping on a Twitch channel and, you know, getting the follows and getting their following. Their following comes because they're unbelievable at this game.
They
don't need to promote the fact that, you know, they are good. They practice. And
it's not about promoting that they're good. I get what Paddy's saying. If you're talking about subsidizing the fact that they're not getting enough money in these tournaments and stuff, they could themselves use their skills to create the content with their own hands to make some of the money.
Like if they have that, if you think that they're that high of a level, they have the opportunity, like they could put a little bit of money in, or someone could back them to get someone to edit videos for them, or get someone to push the content, have social media workers with them, have this, have that, have the other thing. Like it's really on your own back if you're really that good.
But then you're a content creator. You're not an esports.
No, you're both
athlete.
You can be both.
Yeah, you could be both.
Nick Merckx is a massive content creator and a massive
esports
player. Like, and he's huge. Like them lads in America do it like that. They don't put all their things in tournaments. Is like having a title that you can put into your bio. And now I'm this, I'm that, and the other thing. This is why you should watch me. This is what you should do. Like you're leaving a lot of money on the table if you're not doing that.
And also, I would
Yeah.
disagree with the fact that you need. I'm going to be honest. You need to be entertaining for people to watch you on Twitch and stuff. For stuff like when you're
Or
at that
something
caliber,
you're that beautiful level of skill.
when you're so good, there's people who
Or
literally
an
I see
asshole.
them. They will watch people like this playing League of Legends. Well, and there'll be thousands of viewers, and he won't say a freaking word. But the fact that what he's doing on the screen, they're like, this guy is the
Magic.
guy.
But that's the rules. It's either you have to be really entertaining or really good at the game. Like that's the rules. Like, do you know what I mean? Of to be how to be successful.
But it's also the fact that maybe people do want to get supported in their own country to have that backing, to have that much more lifted. I don't know.
I tell you,
That's
it's not,
everything has a hand, I guess, in this. You know, there's a lot of moving parts.
but to be like, I'm going on. If esports is ever to take off in this country, it's not going to be the likes of the men running the cons that's going to make it happen. It's going to be the content creators, and it's going to be the esports players themselves. Because the people that run in these cons only care about money. It's business. Do you know what I mean? And that's like in all these, not saying not every one of them, but I'm trying to say is at the end of the day, it's what makes sense.
But what if those people came together, the esports and the content creators, to build a con, and they're still looking after the money, then Paddy?
It's still going to take years.
That's true.
It's still going to take years. Like it's just
It might help though.
But I think that would be a good way of doing it if there was a mutual interest of raising the profile of the sport, and also obviously on the other side to be making a bit of money. That is where they will come together. So I do.
If you build it, they will
come.
So, but it's not. It doesn't really show that true in Ireland because they've built it a few times and they haven't come. Like it's just a lot of people have folded over the last while, and there's a reason for it. Like it's not because like it's just not there at the minute. It's just not there.
Yeah.
It's one of them things where where's the money? Like there must be making good money at it.
And that's where I kind of think about like how are they gonna do, like since the Olympics are starting to look more esports, like how do they back up their guys now?
How can you say esports in an Olympic sport? Like
no, but like that's what they're going to be looking at, is including esports within the Olympics.
Oh, they already are.
No, they're doing it already.
Like what? All of them are just like the ones that are physical.
Oh, look at the sports now.
The physical ones right now, Paddy. They have the one like they have the online the javelin, and they have like we've covered it. They have the ones the
here. I'll throw it into the chat as well so people can see this too. So there you go. Boom. So.
The only thing I can think is that if you had a European wide, like tournament league or something that you had, and then you had every country had like their own league, and then you went to compete in Europe, like that would be probably the biggest. That would probably be brilliant.
That's like NBA 2K league and they sport like
something like that, like even Rainbow Six Siege, like that's massive. So like stuff like that.
I'm surprised it wasn't there actually at the event at the weekend because it's still like that's such a it's going a long time.
And you know the way you said last year was bigger, or the last time you were at it was bigger. Was it last year? Have these
the esports scene was bigger?
Yeah, have they tried and it just didn't work? Do you know what I mean? Is that why they're not doing it now?
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't have the answer. That's why I think it's an interesting conversation.
Because if it did go really well and they did get money out of it or whatever they're looking for out of it, like it would be the same this year. Like it's just it doesn't seem. I don't know if it worked. Do you know that way?
But it's beneficial, and I have to agree with Paddy that I think even to rise sport, even in its own country, you need to have a personality who is good at promoting themselves through content, through everything. You need a McGregor at UFC. I think you need someone who is so good at self-promoting that I know you're saying, but they're not content creators, they're athletes. It's like that's true, but most athletes have unbelievable presences online, like on the content, and they make their own name and they make their own. They do
UFC fighters stream like. And that's how they make their money at the end of it. How they change. Like if you're there a FIFA player now and you're not promoting yourself and you're not doing anything about it and you stop playing, that's you done. Like you're someone that used to play FIFA. Like it's just
but over. If your whole heart is put into that, and depends on where you're going with it. Like to me, it's kind of a little bit. It's its own kind of stories, if you will. Like if you're constantly playing one game and you're a skilled player, but you don't have any way of leveling up, and that game dies, you die with the game.
Yes, true.
So like you need to either evolve yourself as that content creator, get into a skilled other game, like maybe the next FIFA or whatever it may be, and hope to God that it keeps going on there.
I take a Gary V point of view. Is just like no one cares. You go get what you have to get. It's like it's up to you. It's not up to other people to do it for you. And that's the way I look at it.
No, I agree. I absolutely agree. And I think that's fair to say that people have to go out and get that support because, like, to be honest with you, there's, it needs to be done. And there's nothing there that you can go to an organization and say, hey, FAI, can I apply for your esports team for FIFA? Blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? I have to go out and do that promotion to get popular enough to be able to be accepted to be applied into that. I can't be just a nobody. Maybe. I don't know how it works. So,
but this is another thing, and I understand the whole content creation and make yourself, the person that you are. But there is organizations in Ireland that do run esports, and they're intrinsically linked to real sports. Like we talked about the League of Ireland. Every League of Ireland team has a pro League of Ireland player. Seb is one of them. I think he plays for Derry. Example plays for another. They had an esports event in the Aviva only recently, but they're not getting paid on a contract basis. They're representing this club. They're good enough to represent the club, but the club aren't, giving them giving them a sustainable contract that they can.
And I can. Was this event closed event?
Yeah, it was closed.
So there was no people watching it.
No.
There was no tickets.
No, nothing.
That's
I know,
the problem.
but that's what I'm saying. It's not like, I understand what you're saying, Paddy. On a personal level, you need to promote yourself. But when there's nothing to promote yourself within this country too, what is the point of that? Like, you may as well just move to America. Like, just to give you some stats here in America, the average League of Legends pro athlete makes $75,000 a year. That's average. And some of them are making $150,000, $200,000 a year, even before they enter a tournament.
Yeah.
And I know that's not sustainable in this country because...
Does Seb have any sponsorship?
He does, yeah. He's sponsored by the controller, Scuff controller.
Scuff.
Yeah, he was sponsored by a lot of different companies. Yeah. But again, it's like send him out a controller and that's it. Like, it's...
Right.
Well, yeah.
Where do you think that why is there no one coming in to watch these tournaments?
I think it's down to the to be honest with you, promotion. I think it's the culture. I've lived outside that country for 10 years now. I know for a fact that by heart it is culture. It's the mindset of some.
But is there people there? Is there enough people there to watch it? Would people pay to come to watch a tournament?
Yeah, if it's promoted right and done right.
How much people are watching at Gamerfest?
Oh, chairs were definitely filled. I screamed at Colo when he won. Like,
at Seb's final, every seat was full there.
Yeah. But do you think, like the Aviva Stadium, would you fill some of it? Would you fill any?
I don't think you start with the Aviva. I think you start at a smaller level, and at least give that arena feel for an event like the E-League of Ireland. At least give that, like, let's say you do it in, I don't know, a small venue in Dublin, obviously not like the Aviva style, but a smaller venue that is quite intimate, and build it from there and see how many people come to support. Like, you're going to get family members anyway, but like, I would have went if Seb was going to be there playing. I probably would have went and supported him. And that's what, like, when it comes to the likes of, I don't expect it to be anywhere near America or Japan ever, because like sports in this country always goes towards GAA anyway. I think if there was a GAA video game, it would be extremely popular with probably a lot of support from the GAA and a lot of money pumped into it.
There's two of them made.
There was two of them made, but not how old are they?
They were great. They were fantastic.
They were good.
They were released when I worked in games, so that was 2006.
And maybe that is the key, is a new GAA game, hurling and football, and that's how you actually get people to, I don't know, maybe start supporting their Gaelic player or hurler and representing their county. I don't know. It's a difficult one. I've seen it kind of dip in the last while, but I worry about where we are going in the future, like in this country. Everywhere, like England has a really big scene, because a lot of the sports, the physical sport, let's say like in sim race, and you have Williams, they have their drivers. You have, I'm sure Ferrari have their setup. And then all of the Premier League have players that represent Premier League clubs, like, and these guys are on massive contracts. And
but it's the same as the League of Ireland and Ireland. It's nowhere near the Premiership. Like,
I know, and maybe that's what it boils down to, is just at the end of the day, the money is not there for sport unless it's.
I think it's the education as well. I think it's an educational gap between these massive organizations and going into the esports, and maybe just looking at it with like a dozy old head and be like, why would we want to get into video games? Like,
I really do think it comes down to dollar symbols. I honestly do. I just think it's money.
Munster Rugby are doing really good stuff with esports.
Like they've been pushing it for the last few years, but the pandemic, I think this might just put it back to the, back to its arse.
I just really think it really has to do with buzz as well. I think, and this isn't just down to content creators. Like, this is down to orgs, people that are like running these competitions, that they need to have, like, we have freaking Jimmy Jones Stewart versus Michelle Rodriguez. I don't know why these make names the first one that came out.
I'd go and see that.
But they need to be like, you need to be hyped to see, oh, there's freaking Jimmy Joe Stewart. He's actually amazing. I've seen his blah, blah, blah. And maybe not even him having the content, the orgs and them creating the content, buffing these people up.
Who became, like, or bought publicly or whatever, that they're content creators. Like that's org start from content creation. It wasn't started because of the esports side of it. It started because they're living in a house and all that blew up from there, and then they're joining esport. You know what I mean? That's where it came from. It's content.
I think
you need to be entertaining.
I think you just need to care about them. And I know, like, I'm not saying against people who are doing it, but like, if you know next to nothing about them, only that they're very good at FIFA, and I've seen them at these tournaments. No, you need to have, like, I just, again, maybe I'm a show, but I'm a ringmaster, maybe, but you need to have a little bit of buzz. You need to have a little bit of story. You need to have a little bit of exactly.
Come on, Ireland.
That's even the same as that YouTube boxing at the minute.
Sorry.
There was like everybody watched
Prayer
that.
Clash.
But they were saying, JJ came out and said that he wants lads need to keep making content, because a lot of them were just focusing on the boxing all the time. But like, they need to focus on being entertaining and letting people care and who they are.
And that's how Misfits or whatever are getting their money, because like, if you're saying, oh, there's not enough money, we can't do, like, the organization themselves can't do these things because there isn't the money in the country. That's how you generate the money from the buzz.
Yeah.
I think so anyway. I could be wrong. Listen, but that's just
it's all marketing, John.
Doesn't the content not come as well from tournaments as well, and seeing these plays like in the middle?
It does, but like, if they get to tournament and nobody knows who they are, who cares? Like, if me and you went now and played a game somewhere and like we put it up online or whatever, that people that would know us, like, people would there, but no one else would care. So
depending on the stature of tournament, if we won that tournament, people would care after that. Then
for about 5 minutes. Depends how good you are at the game and how entertaining you are.
But it's not, but Ronan, it's not that people don't care. The people who are watching it do care. But in order to get more people into it, I think there needs to be buzz about it. I think we need to get more eyes on it. Is what I'm kind of saying.
Yeah. Like the back in the day, I did a 1v1 me bro tournament between me and a guy called Jamie, because he said he was better than me at Call of Duty. So I hyped it. I made a promotion and everything. Really dug into this. Said it every day that this is happening. Set a date. We had about 200 people watching us because I went around saying, I'm going to get him. And he was like, I'm totally going to beat him. So
did you win?
I won. Yes, nice. I have the footage. I have everything. So I have it all there. I could pop it up anytime. You let me know in the chat, comments below. Okay. But I think that kind of hype and getting that kind of gossip, but maybe Creators Clash kind of helped that along as well. So hand in hand.
Story always helps. Story. That's what you want to be driven towards. But the Counter-Strike 2 is coming out this year, so there's a good chance that's going to be blowing up.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
New fresh skin, new fresh players.
That's another thing as well. There hasn't been that many new esport games, except for what was that one you said did really well?
Valorant.
That's the only one that's come out in the last few years. Like, everyone else has been around for a long time.
Apex is a long time ago. No? Apex is there a long time now, though. Like,
in fairness to Valorant, it's created by Riot, which also create League of Legends. So anything that they release, it's going to have, one, a massive following, and two, they know how to create a game that's going to be good for esports.
Great that touch.
But like, I love esports, and I love watching people play, especially like Celtic Throwdown and stuff. That was amazing. And a lot of that place was full out, but that was people playing esports. That was more everybody came in to play and then they watched after, and it was done really well. And that was brilliantly done.
Fighting game community, that's kind of like, that's, if there was anything I played a lot of back in the day.
We could chat to Brian about like why it went away, but like there has to be a reason. Maybe it was the pandemic and everything. It's just I think it's very hard to make continuous money out of something like that. Especially like the price of venues these days, the price of equipment, the price of this, the price of that. Everyone's getting more expensive as it goes. And then if you try and up the price of tickets, people don't want to buy them. So it's just because they can't afford them as well in this climate, as they say.
But has there ever been like a fully focused esport event in terms of, you know, not a con, but an actual...
Yeah, Celtic Throwdown.
Well, that's true. Yeah. But that, like, I know the guys are not running them anymore, but they were successful, you know, in terms of they got enough players in. I'm sure they got some great matches.
Like, I don't know, I can't really talk about it because we know them well, but
we can maybe bring them on to have a conversation. I'm really interested in the scene. Like, I want to be optimistic about it. I don't have any of the answers, obviously.
Yeah, neither do I.
It's it'd just be nice that if, let's say, my son wanted to go full time into whatever game it was, like maybe 5 years ago it would have been Fortnite, that I would be able to support him in knowing that, okay, there is an organization in Ireland that, okay, maybe there's not any events in Ireland, but they'll actually send you over to England to take part in some of the biggest events, you know, that they have over there. Darren McCormick mentioned to me that there is no sim racing scene in Ireland. A lot of his events, like he was sent to Barcelona to a racing event 4 weeks ago. He's an event in England next week. He's racing from his home this weekend. And it's like a job, like, and he doesn't create content. He does laps on YouTube.
Did you ever see that film? Sorry, content. Did you ever see that film Hustle?
Hustle,
on Netflix. Do you remember?
You
remember that it was all about basketball?
Yeah. The comedian, isn't it? What's his name? I can't remember.
Adam Sandler.
Yeah, Adam Sandler.
Oh yeah,
good movie actually.
Yeah, great movie. But the thing about that there is how they done it. They couldn't get him in to anyone to see him. You know, all the sports leagues, all that stuff there. What did he do? He made a hype video. Do you know that's what I'm trying to get at? Like, you need to have people want you. You need to have people like you're on your own side. You need to create that buzz.
Yeah.
I'd up with Paddy as well. I'd up it to the fact that I don't even think, like, fair enough, the person needs to do it, but I think if there's an org, I think they need to be putting out content. All right, this 100%. Is our guy. This guy is, you know, and even have like some like mini tournaments that are like before the event of like freaking the Crusher versus the Annihilator, and like freaking again, I'm a wrestling fan, so get like freaking get the heat going, get the faces popping for stuff. I think that's just a great way of doing it. A little bit of storytelling, a little bit of flair, a little bit of circle. I'm a ringleader
on an organization level. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I'm thinking I think they need to pump it and be like, guys, this event, oh my freaking god. It's
create drama that's not really there.
Not necessarily drama, just like
drama sells, John. Drama sells.
Fair enough, but even if you don't want to go down that road, just express how good these people are and how this is so tight. This is so, I can't believe it. Do you know what I mean?
But that's what the YouTube boxing is doing.
Exactly.
I hate Jake Paul, and I'd still tune into his fight to see him get knocked out. Like,
yeah, same. Like, and that's the thing.
He hasn't been knocked out though, has he?
No, he was put down, but he hasn't been knocked out. He lost, like.
And even the KSI stuff, I even tune in for that as well.
KSI, I love KSI. I watch KSI every time he wants to put a video out.
I have no idea what these lads do at all. I just want to see a couple YouTubers. Each other. So it's like sort of see the drama behind it. Like, who said what to who.
KSI is pretty good YouTuber.
I've been watching KSI since Road to Division 1. Back when he used to make freaking FIFA content.
Oh my god.
Like over a decade ago.
And now they just rip off old TV shows, on YouTube, and make millions. That could be a good idea to have a complete org just surrounded by that. It'd be hard to do it.
It would be hard to do it. I'm not saying it's easy. Oh God, no, I'm not. Especially getting the hype
team to do it. It's more about it's pound signs and euros. That's what it comes down to. You need to make it work for everybody
in this country.
For everyone. Like it's the same as like they say in America. How come women basketball players don't get paid as much as men's basketball players? And it just comes down to ticket sales. Like, it comes down to people watching. and who's
Yeah.
paying what. It doesn't come down to anything else.
But it's also
what's
what
people-
time they're
what's the
showing the
market care
games
about.
at.
You know what I mean?
They're showing the games at like 2 o'clock on a Wednesday in a field somewhere that doesn't matter. So like
Well,
that
it's,
kind
it's
of
more like people just don't. It's more.
You know
It's
what I
just the
mean?
market. It's the market. You
Yeah.
have to focus on what the market wants.
I watch it, man. I watch it. I love watching the camogie. I love watching my girls tear into each other with wild sticks flaring. Are you crazy? If I could get access to that more on RT, I'd be a happy girl. You know what I mean?
RT sucks.
But
My
like,
missus a
but-
couple of
RT does suck.
county.
But I
county
have
medals.
to wait. If I want to watch like anything with the Olympics, I always watch the Olympics, especially when it comes to the girls' football, because it is.
Which there you go. That's another
Like-
thing as well. Is the GA players still don't get paid, do they?
No, it's an
That's
amateur
ridiculous.
sport.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
I never forget
Yes.
my English teacher came in, he had bruises all over himself because he played for Kilkenny. And he couldn't get through a class without saying, still think that was a terrible shot, sorry now. Get on to page 47 now. Oh,
I used to work with one of the Meath players back in the day, and he just come in to work on a Monday, like, and he could be battered and bruised, and still
Battered.
working as a chippy, even though he's on the big main stage in Ireland. Like,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
doesn't make sense.
yeah. I
They're
had to
better
hear
looked
Anthony
after
talk
now,
about
though,
that
in
That
about-
shows
fairness.
you, like, if they don't even pay their pro players of a sport that's been around for hundreds of years, like, how the hell are you going to get it for esports?
Bill 16. La
You know
la
what I
la. Sorry.
Yeah, no, and I think that's what it boils down to, Paddy. It boils down to, like, if you look at the soccer, football, like, I can't say
Yeah.
football when we're talking about
Soccer.
about
Yeah.
GA, but when you look at how soccer is funded in this country, it's, not well developed. It's getting a little bit better. Like, we seem to have better development coming through, but for years we were, struggling to even
But they're not getting paid that much either. Like, I have a work here in Letterkenny, and some of the teams have players living in their apartments, and they're not rich. I tell you that. Like, compared to Premiership players that are making 100, 200 grand a week.
they're making, some players are making 430 quid a week. That's the minimum. Players aged 19 are guaranteed at least 380 per week. Yeah, there you go. Like,
How the hell are you supposed to live on that? That's
You can't.
you might more in McDonald's.
That's it. Like,
Yeah, like,
so
They
look
do it for the
at
love of sport.
Welcome to Wrexham is I suppose a good look at the level of, well, Wrexham now are, they're going up.
it's-
They're getting
great.
they're getting up through the leagues there, but they would have been similar to like League of Ireland level, where they are just getting by. The players are training every day. They're getting
Yeah.
not a great wage. And
mm,
maybe it is just that. It's just the sport infrastructure in this country is not set up for
just not
real,
sport.
physical sport, let alone the esports scene.
Sports over it,
But
yeah.
do you watch the League of Ireland?
no.
I'd watch it every so often, yeah, but like I wouldn't be diehard
Well, there you
or
go.
anything.
That's another thing. No one watching the fucking thing.
No, I don't watch it at all. I have no interest in it at all.
A lot of people watching are probably like their brothers and sisters of the players. Hey, go on.
Yeah. Or we're gonna go up support me. He's paying for Pats. Wait, who? Like what? Which one? Is it GA? No. Okay.
It is interesting. It's even interesting to see the young people want to become esports players.
Mm,
I was thinking when you were talking about, the F1 players and the stories of, the sim racers becoming real racers. Does
Yeah.
that mean that there's be farmers going around now? Is your son man and a harvester? Your
man,
son
no.
man and a harvester. Come
Yeah,
on.
I
now.
tell you.
Ever thought about going
No.
professional?
Yeah, headhunting.
But then, like,
I've got a
legit, like-
plough with your name written on it.
Paddy, maybe
Don't
maybe
go
the
with that,
start
man.
of the massive
Don't go with that,
esports
man.
scene is Farm Simulator in this country.
When it's in
It
Germany,
makes sense.
Germany
Hopefully.
has it on a Wednesday. Tune in at midday Germany time. So
Wouldn't it be amazing if
Awesome.
the ploughing championship
It
had an esports championship alongside it,
Yeah.
That could be, that
and you
could make
just
sense.
had anyone could try it.
That's
and I think
exactly
that's-
where you'd have that event too.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
exactly where you'd have
that's it.
Have a
that
little
fire
it. I'm
tent
works
set
writing that
up.
down. I'm writing that down.
Get that pen and paper.
You'd be fine.
No, look at it. It's an interesting one. I'm glad we kind of were able to back and forth on it, because like
Mm,
I don't know. I'd like to see more opportunity for esports prospects in this country,
yeah.
not without having to leave the country. And
It's
I know
going
some.
to have to be, like, I'm telling you, content is going to be the way to do it. If you had a league that ran for 6 months of the year or something, that built up to a con, that's what would happen. That's how you get your people in. You have
You
it on
build it, they
like
will
on YouTube every week, or and like that there, and build it up like that, and then people know the players and they know what's going to happen, and then they're like, oh, this player might be better than this player because they've watched them. You
Yeah.
know exactly what might happen. That's how you build a bit of drama. Having it once a year with random people being dropped in, and then you might see them next year again. That's it.
True.
Do you know what
I'd
I
love
mean?
to
That's
get
not building
like the
anything.
likes of Seb
True.
on or example and get their thoughts on it. Like
Yeah.
being a FIFA pro in this
That's a good
country
idea,
for
yeah.
a long period of time and what they think should change and maybe aspects that they don't like.
Yeah.
And they've both played in the League of Ireland for the E League, so yeah,
Like,
it's
like the Premiership and stuff. People love the Premiership because of the drama and the
history.
The football is great now, but like
History,
it does
yeah.
build up storylines and people and what does this player do this week and who's going for this money and we bought him for this amount of money, but he's absolutely dung and stuff like that builds up characters. It builds up, and you don't even know them.
Won't you bring
Yeah,
Fofana into
All
this?
the time.
So what we do is we make a fake story around it, Paddy. Is that what you're saying?
I know. I'm just telling you, it is. It's story. That's what people.
It is
that's what they
story
want.
driven. Like John even said it himself, like, and I of course have fallen down the rabbit hole of wrestling. I have always loved a good backstory. And the thing is that they can take the story and they can leave it dead for a little bit and then bring it back again. Like, and it's always these kind of backwards and forwards of just the hype and the trail of where it's gonna go, where it's gonna end, and is this the moment when so and so does this? Are they gonna get like it's the chase is what I'm trying to get. The chase that we want.
And done properly with good production value and editing, I believe.
100%. 100%. Yes.
You definitely need the people to back it. You need the people to care. You people want to watch it. Not just this play. It's not just about the players. It's about keeping everybody else happy too. The sponsors, the fucking people watching. Like the content is the game. Do you know what I mean? That's the at the end of the day, that's what you want to watch for. It's people care because of the content, but you have to get there first. And on that bombshell.
And on that bombshell.
I think it is a good place to leave it. Great conversation. Thanks everyone in the chat as well for sticking through that interesting one. We're no better off, but I mean, we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll start our own esports organization and then we can put our money where our mouth is. I think, having
I'll
money.
do it. I'll do it.
It's all gone.
Battlefield. I'll do it. Battlefield. We can customize an L server.
1,000 players.
We did have good rep with the FIFA League and stuff. Did well, and the fucking.
But that's it. I think it's open season.
The F1 League did really well. People loved that.
The F1 League was amazing.
You got big views.
We can do a nice Forza situation.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments below what you would like to see, and then we have to do it because you are the community, and you have to let us know these things.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
We just need
James, thank you for that.
For that
Appreciate you sticking through the podcast.
Right, thanks everybody.
You enjoyed it. Yeah, thanks to everybody. If you haven't hit the subscribe, please do. We are on the road to 1,000 and 1,000 subs. When we get there, we are going to start our own esports organization.
Yes.
Join the Patreon to fund that. But it's been a good show. A lot of things discussed. Some great news and some free games to play on PS Plus. Also Xbox. Actually, we forgot to drop the Xbox games.
I already put the link into the chat. I have it covered as well. Don't worry.
Nobody cares.
Shots fired.
Shots fired. Okay. From myself, Paddy, Tink, and John, thank you so much. Paddy, do you want to tell the good folks where they can find you?
The Republican players, wherever you see us. On TikTok as well. Go TikTok.
Oh,
TikTok.
Jesus. Oh, I hate TikTok. TikTok's for kids.
TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
There's one video with like 60-something thousand views. I'm like, I love it.
I know. Everybody is the same. I wouldn't go on that joke. Oh, that's only for kids. And next minute you post a video. Actually.
Holy hell.
I feel
This is why everyone's over here. 60,000. Holy crap. Yeah, so join us on TikTok, YouTube. We're putting a lot up on the shorts. We're also bringing you all the latest trailers as well on YouTube. And yeah, just content at the moment.
Your one spot for news. That's what we're going to be. News and podcasts.
Number one. John,
straight Irish opinion.
Fogarty, where can the good folks find you?
Good folks can find me at 2OL for Gaming. That's TOOLD for Gaming. And they can find me on YouTube, allegedly, and Twitch. They can also find me on everything else. Just type in 2OL for Gaming if it's a platform, see what happens.
Return video coming soon.
Yeah.
Andy Tinkerbell.
You can find me on Twitch, same name. I'll be there tomorrow, the day after that, the day after that. I am full time, so make sure you drop an L follow on the channel because I will see you and acknowledge you.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to you. Actually,
And the Twitters and all that, TikTok, but all my shorts and TikToks and all that, man.
You're doing great stuff. I don't know how you do it on a full-time basis. It takes some serious mental drive to do what you're doing, but you're doing fantastic stuff. I jumped in your stream today, as I usually do when I get a chance, and yeah, great with the community. So keep it going.
I will.
You can find me on
Mullingar.
the Republic of in Mullingar drinking a pint of Guinness. That's where I was last night, but yeah, tonight is a little bit different, a bit more chill tonight. So find me on YouTube, the Alpha Fox, if you want to check out a lot of my sim racing content, and the Republic of Players. Make sure you jump into the Facebook message chat. We talk about, there's a couple of different subsections. You can go into the F1 subsection. You can go into, I think Paddy has a retro one set up. And we also have the Trop 24/7, which is just people talking about video games 24/7. And it's an amazing place to just jump in and interact with the community. Please hit the subscribe. We'll see you next week. Thanks so much, everyone. We'll talk to you then.
Bye.